Men, dressed in black suits, often sporting black sunglasses and hats, and have been described as faceless, that appear and threaten witnesses of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, in an attempt to keep them quiet about what they saw. Some people believe these men to be nothing more than mere legend, or the product of dreams and active imaginations, denying they even exist at all. But to believers and the people who have been unfortunate enough to meet them, the men in black are all too real. You're listening to Truth vs. Tales, the podcast where we take a widely believed official story and examine whether it is in fact the truth or if it's a tale someone would like us to believe. Today's episode of Truth vs. Tales is on the men in black. If you have a story or topic you would like to hear in future episodes, send us an email at tylerstalespodcast@gmail.com. That's Tyler's, T-A-L-E-S, podcast@gmail.com. Now on to the episode. Welcome to Truth vs. Tales. I'm your host, Tyler. Today we'll be talking about the men in black. But first, I'd like to introduce a new partner of our show, and that's Dubby Energy. They aren't your typical energy drink company. Their energy drink powders that you mix with as much or as little water as you want contain no sugar, artificial colors, dyes, or calories, and they're keto friendly. All of this while providing enhanced focus and concentration without the jitters or crashes that come with most standard energy drinks. They have tons of different flavors, such as Push and Punch and Galaxy Grenade, and even have a starter sampler pack so you can try 5 of their flavors, and it even comes with a Dubby shaker bottle. Right now, that sampler pack is only $18.49. And you can get an additional 10% off by entering promo code TALESPODCAST at checkout. That's TALES podcast for 10% off at Dubby Energy. So do yourself a favor and check out this up-and-coming energy drink company with great tasting products and help out the show at the same time. I'll put a link to their website in the description of this episode. Now back to the Men in Black. We all know about the movie franchise starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. But did you know that there are claims that the Men in Black actually exist? However, not the way they're depicted in the movies. There are a couple of theories out there that we're going to look at today about the Men in Black. One claims the mysterious men are government agents who harass and threaten witnesses that claim to have seen an unidentified flying object, also known as a UFO, as a way of keeping them quiet about what they saw or experienced. The other theory we'll talk about claims that the Men in Black aren't actually men at all. They're aliens, either working in conjunction with the government or on their own to keep their existence and presence on Earth a secret. While there's very little information out there on these supposed Men in Black, there have been hundreds of people that have claimed they encountered the mysterious men shortly after seeing a UFO or even after just researching the topic in detail. The stories of Men in Black encounters actually began circulating about half a century before the release of the first movie in the popular film franchise. And when you think about it, making a Men in Black comedy movie is a great way to convince the world that the entire concept is a joke, which happens to fit well into the theory that these men are part of the government, and maybe they wanted to make a mockery of the concept and discredit those who claim to have encounters with the Men in Black. One of those encounters, the most well-known alleged encounter with the Men in Black, comes from Albert Bender. In 1952, Bender created the International Flying Saucer Bureau, which researched UFO phenomena and published a magazine called Space Review. In a 1953 issue of Space Review, Bender claimed he had been visited by 3 men wearing dark suits. These men told him to cease publishing information about UFOs. In that very same year, Space Review stopped publishing altogether, and the International Flying Saucer Bureau ceased to exist completely. Some believed Bender had been planning to stop publishing anyway due to the publication making very little money, but others suggest it could have been because of the Men in Black. Before we talk about more encounters, I want to touch a bit on the descriptions of these men. There have been several different physical descriptions of the Men in Black. While they are always dressed in black suits, donning black hats, and sometimes wearing sunglasses, the face is where the descriptions begin to differ. Some people have said that the men have no facial hair at all, large inhuman eyes. Descriptions of the nose also vary, and there's even a claim that they have extremely pale white skin with no eyebrows, almost like a mannequin. The Men in Black normally appear in pairs or groups of 3, and it has even been claimed that they all have identical faces. When it comes to their voice, They are said to have monotone, almost robotic-sounding voices. These men also seem to appear out of nowhere, which brings us to a couple more encounters. There's a claim that when Dave Rosenfeld had information on his website that laid out the dates and times of scheduled equipment tests at Dugway Proving Ground, he received a phone call from an unknown caller asking if he was alone and if they could meet to discuss his research about the military facility. Rosenfeld says he told the caller he was alone and was able to meet. By the time he stood up, turned the light on, and looked out the window, there was already a black car across the road, with a man dressed in black leaning up against it. There was also a second man dressed the same, walking up the staircase to his front door. The man told Rosenfeld that he had some information on his website that needed to be taken down. Rosenfeld allowed him into his home to watch him remove the information. The man then told him if the information shows back up online again, they will be back, and he doesn't want them to come back. Then the man walked outside and seemingly disappeared, along with his partner and the car they supposedly came in. Another incident occurred in 1996 in Arizona. John Rhodes claims he was researching the possibility of underground military bases in the Grand Canyon caverns. When he was pulling into the pull-off on the side of the road, there were two guys dressed in black suits with a shiny black car waiting for him. One of them walked right up to him as he was parking his car. Rhodes got out and looked at him eye to eye. The man said, "Mr. Rhodes, you know you could fall down out there. Fall into some hole and no one would ever find you." They then left. Something that Rhodes noticed about the interaction was that the car, which looked brand new, had no dirt or dust on it at all, and the shoes of the man who talked to him were clean enough to see his reflection in. Both of those are odd considering they were in the middle of nowhere in the Arizona desert. They clearly didn't drive out there, so where did they come from? The physical descriptions of the men and their robotic monotone voices, combined with how they seem to appear and disappear out of thin air, fit into the theory that the men in black are actually aliens in disguise, trying to keep their presence on Earth a secret. While there are many accounts of alleged encounters with the men in black, there are very few photos taken of them. In fact, I could only find one original photograph that is said to be of a man in black. It was taken by Timothy Beckley when another UFO investigator named Jack Robinson claimed a man dressed in all black was watching him and his wife. Robinson said that the man could be seen lurking in the shadows of a doorway across the street from the couple's home, watching the place closely with an emotionless look on his face. There was even evidence that their house was broken into and Robinson's UFO research had been gone through. Beckley wanted to see this man for himself, so he went to have a look. While sitting in his car on the side of the street, he was able to spot the suspicious-looking man and take his picture. Shortly after the photograph was taken, Beckley pulled around the block to have a good look at him from the other side and eventually confront the man. But when he turned back onto the road, the man was gone, along with an all-black car that had been parked on the street. The alleged man in black was never seen again by either Robinson or Beckley. There is also a claim that a hotel security camera caught footage of two men in black entering their hotel. The two men can be seen on video entering the main door at the hotel and were dressed in black suits and hats. They were said to have no facial hair, large inhuman eyes, and no eyebrows, as well as identical faces. Apparently, they were there looking for the manager, who supposedly captured a UFO in a photograph, but the manager was not there. So the men proceeded to ask the other staff members about what he had told them about the encounter and even if they knew where the photograph was. But strangely, there was no video footage of the two men leaving the hotel. Sure, they could have possibly used a different door. I'm not sure if there was another door. Or they could have left in a more supernatural way. And then we have members of the government talking about these mysterious men in black. In 1967, the United States Air Force expressed concern that there were a number of people claiming to be part of the US government going around dressed in black suits telling UFO witnesses to keep quiet. Colonel George Freeman, a spokesperson for Project Blue Book, which was responsible for a series of studies into UFOs, at the Pentagon said the following: "Mysterious men dressed in Air Force uniforms or all in black and displaying impressive credentials from government agencies have been silencing UFO witnesses. We have checked a number of these cases, and these men are not connected to the Air Force in any way. We haven't been able to find anything about these men. By posing as Air Force officers and government agents, they are committing a federal offense. We would sure like to catch one. Unfortunately, the trail is always too cold by the time we hear about these cases, but we're still trying." Why would a government official state those things if they themselves did not believe the witnesses of these Men in Black encounters were credible? It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? And believers of UFOs look at the Men in Black as some kind of proof these phenomena are real. After all, why would you try to silence people if you know it's not real? Then the Men in Black believers look at that statement by Colonel Freeman about the mysterious men as proof of their existence. So it's all kind of connected in some way, shape, or form when it comes to UFOs and aliens and the Men in Black. That's all I have for you today. On one hand, we have these mysterious, secretive men dressed in all black going around and intimidating or threatening UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about their encounters. These men could either be part of a covert government agency trying to keep the truth about UFOs and aliens a secret, or, according to some encounters and descriptions, they could be aliens in disguise, working either in conjunction with our government or on their own to keep their existence and presence hidden. As I have discussed, there have been many alleged encounters with these supposed real-life Men in Black, and even some eerie CCTV security cam footage of two men who seem to fit that description, and much more. And on the other hand, all these people are completely making it up. That's it. Those are the two choices. But this is where I leave you. As always, I encourage everybody out there to do their own research. Check out that photograph I mentioned and the CCTV footage I talked about. Come to your own conclusion about the real-life Men in Black. Which is the truth, and which is the tale. Thanks for listening. See you next time.